Hey, Tony Gaddins here popping in. Want to share this because I was having lunch today with my dad. It's his birthday. And in 2011, he wrote a book called Eight Mistakes Women Make in Relationships. And one of the things that I see oftentimes in my messages and questions about dating or relationships in general, I mean, you could be married now to the person you were dating, or you could be dating or getting ready to date. And one of the biggest mistakes that I see that women make when you're dating a man, and you got to realize today it's a lot of grown boys. It's really more grown boys than there are grown men. So as you're going through the dating process, 6, 7, 8 out of 10 men may be grown boys, and then you have the rest that are grown men. And so you have to be very mindful of what you're doing when you're dating. And here's the thing: what happens so often with women is you talk too much. There's studies that say the average woman speaks 25,000 words a day, and the average man speaks 10,000 words a day. And it may be 30,000 and 15,000 now. But women, the part of a woman's brain that processes thoughts and feelings and emotions is very developed. The cognitive skills of a woman is very strong. So women can articulate things very well. And with that articulation comes the ability to talk a lot. And sometimes what happens is a woman can talk too much. And so when you meet a man and you're talking to this man and you're getting to know him, what'll happen is he will let you talk yourself out of your drawers. He will let you talk yourself right into a trap. And he will ask you questions that bait you. So he will ask you, what do you bring to the table? That puts you on the defense. That puts you in a mode of seeking his approval. You feel like you have to prove yourself. He will ask you, what type of man are you looking for? You will tell him your full list of a man that you're looking for, and then he will play a role. If you read a man a script, he'll pick the star character, the star role, and he'll play a role. And I've been teaching that for years now. Now I see other people sharing it and putting it online and teaching it and including some women. But it comes from my quote that says, a person playing a role will eventually forget their act. And so what I see women do is, a lot of times as a woman, you get frustrated that you're not meeting him. And in this downtime of not meeting him, you've written your list 50 times. You have it written upon the tables of your heart. You know it inside and out. You know it like your shoe size. So what happens is, when you finally meet a decent man, you have diarrhea of the mouth, and you talking so much and you so excited to be with a real man, and you want to close the deal so bad that you oversell yourself, that you overtalk, that you talk too much. And then what it does, it actually will turn a good man off, because it makes you appear desperate. Instead of just showing up natural and authentic, just being you, just being who you are, and operating from a place of self-love and peace, self-worth, you come in and you're operating from fear, from frustration, from loneliness, from boredom, from anger, from desperation. And so you'll actually repel a good man. You'll push him away. And then a no good man, you will attract him, because he wants to play on your desperation. He wants to play on your low self-esteem or your frustration. He wants to play on those things. So he'll come on in. He'll come on in and he's like, okay, this is great. And so now you've told him everything you're looking for in a man. A lot of times a man will ask you, so what happened with your last relationship? Like, why did y'all break up? And then you say, well, he put hands on me. And although y'all broke up, it still tells this grown boy that you are capable of having hands put on you and that you willing to have hands put on you, that you okay with hands being put on you, even though y'all broke up, it still lets him know that this can happen. And so he takes that note. You tell him your business, what y'all did. You know, he's asking you these questions. Have you ever had a threesome? Have you ever went to the strip club with a man? You know, have you ever been cheated on and forgave that cheating? You answering this stuff openly and honestly, and the grown boy is jotting all this down in his mind, and he's going to take you a little beyond the point that you've already been to. Because now he sees, okay, so you're willing to be cheated on. You're willing to have hands put on you. You're willing to go to the strip club. You're willing to do a threesome. Okay, I see where you at. And now he knows how to approach you. He knows what to do with you. So this is what you have to think about. This is what you got to think about with this. And you got to be mindful of this. And you got to be in a place to where you can say, okay, I see. Let me guard my tongue. So you're not lying or playing a game. Instead, when he says, you know, what type of man do you like? I know when I see it. A lady asked me, what, Tony, I thought you said, you know, on the romantic video. That's when you already in a relationship with a man. When you already in a relationship, y'all already together, y'all already exclusive, and a man wants to know, like, what's your ideal date. That's when you can share with him what your ideal date is. But on the first date, when you getting to know a man, when you're not all the way there yet, you don't give him the script so that he could pick a role to play. Instead, you let him show you who he is. So your words are more vague. You say, well, I'll know when I see him. So now it's like, okay, all he can take from that is be who you are. And if you are him, I'll know. And even if he playing a role, he gonna have to play it right. He's going to have to play it right. And while he playing it, he'll end up getting stuck in that role because he played himself. Because you didn't tell him what you okay with. When you go down the list of all your boyfriends and they all was thugs, they all was goons, now he know your standards are low. Now he knows you'll put up with just about anything. Whereas he was getting ready to be an upstanding citizen, he was getting ready to be a good man. He's like, I don't have to be that man for her. I could be my toxic self for her because she done put up with trash. And so when you leave the past in the past and you're able to say, well, you know, that's the past. It didn't work out. That's the past. So I'm moving on with my life. And I did a video called Let Him Earn Your Love. And I talked about this on Let Him Earn Your Love, meaning basically stop talking so much. Stop talking so much. Stop telling everything. Stop telling all your business. Stop laying down all of this right here and you treating this man like your therapist. You giving him all your game. And you talking to him, telling him everything. But guess what? He's not a therapist. He's not there to heal you. He's competing with you. He's competing for you, for what's between your legs. So whereas a therapist, you could go be vulnerable and share everything with a therapist, and they're supposed to take that and turn that into something healing and helpful. But all is fair in love and war. So when you're talking to a man and you tell him all of your vulnerable things, he'll use that against you. So you take the vulnerabilities and your pain and all of that, you take that to your therapist or to your life coach. And to this man, you take a whole, healthy, healed, and confident person to him. So that way, he can't see you sweat. Somebody say, Tony, you said, you know, don't let a man see you sweat. What does that mean? It means don't go in there broken and weak and pitiful. What he sees is healthy, whole, driven, focused, self-love, self-respect, character, integrity. All your brokenness, all your pain, you take that to a clinician or a professional coach or mentor, and you do the work there. You do the work outside of your relationship instead of bringing that all into your relationship. So often you'll hear a woman tell you, well, I told him that I was R word when I was 17. And then he took, once we got together, and started drilling me about that. How did it happen? And what did you do? What did you have on? Did you bring this on yourself? And he further traumatizes you through this questioning because you told him about that. When that is none of his business, that happened before him. It has nothing to do with him. That's something you take to your therapist. That's something you take to God. That has nothing to do with him whatsoever. And a lot of times we get tricked by the enemy to believe that we are supposed to confide in humans. And women say, oh, well, I'm not being honest if I don't tell him that. That's a lie. That's not his business. That's between you and God. And if he asks that word, if he asks that question, have you ever been R word? That's a red flag in itself. It's like, what kind of question is that? So the answer is, what kind of question is that? Have it happened to you? And it's like, no. Okay, well, think about what you ask before you ask it. And you talk to this man and you flip it on him when he interrogating you and he trying to put you on a hot seat. You got to flip it on him and make him feel stupid, because he is stupid. He is a grown boy in that moment. And so you have to ask, like, listen, what kind of question is that? Like, next question. Like, are we talking about us, like the here and now? We talking about the past? Oh, well, somebody passed. It plays a lot. Okay, so why aren't you telling me all about your past instead of just asking me about mine? You see what I mean? And so you got to be able to hold a grown boy accountable, because even myself, I know this so well because I was that guy. I was a grown boy that would weaponize those questions. And those questions would show me the vulnerabilities of a woman. So that's how I could teach this, because I used to do it. I was a grown boy. And so you have to think about this, and you got to be a little more reserved and keep your business to yourself. You keep your business to yourself. You take all this stuff to where it need to go. And then what he sees is a woman who's ready for love. And then whatever he want to tell, that's on him. If he has not done the work to come here and learn that he need a therapist, he need a life coach, he need to read books and watch videos, and he want to sit there and tell you every traumatic thing that's ever happened in his life, okay, you be woman enough not to use that against him, not to play on him or prey on him the way that he would have done, or the way that your ex did to you. Because so often you'll hear a woman say, well, I told him this, and then he brought it up. He spit in my face with it. He used it against me. And men in arguments will say, that's why your daddy left you. That's the reason right there why your daddy abused you. That's why your mama spit on you. That's why your mama hated you and left you, and left you with your grandma. And you like, whoa, what in the world? Like, I told you about what this happened to me, and now you throwing this in my face, making me feel like trash, like I'm nothing, because I went through something that had nothing to do with me. That's what a grown boy will do. He will throw it in your face. That's why you lost your child. That's why you had a miscarriage. That's why your ex-boyfriend used to beat on you. I see why he used to do that to you. I feel him. I'm right there with him. I'm right there with him. You about to go through the same thing again with me. I used to didn't like men who would do like that, do stuff like that to a woman. But now I realize why he used to do that to you. And you like, whoa, what's going on? You took your business to the wrong place. To the wrong place. Stop telling all your business. Take the Lord in prayer. Take to a professional. Not to this man that you're getting ready to date, because you got to realize about the human mind. Anything I tell you about me, you never forget it and you use it against me. Well, Tony, you and your wife didn't wait until marriage. Well, how did you know that? Because I told you. And why did I tell you? To help you. for your benefit, to show you that I'm admitting to my faults and my mistakes so that you don't have to make the same mistakes. So why you using what I told you against me? And I'm on here trying to help you. Why? That's human nature. Women do it every day to me. Well, Tony, you said, you and your wife, well, Tony, you said, well, how you telling us to wait till marriage and you ain't wait? And so what you think a man gonna be different? You tell a man you used to get beat on, you used to get cheated on, he finna do the same thing, or he finna throw it in your face that used to happen to you to make you feel less than. And see, this is what you got to think about and realize. This is what you got to understand. So it's not about being deceptive. It's not about lying. It's about keeping your business where your business need to be. So when he asks you intrusive question, I said, look, I don't want to talk about that because that has nothing to do with you and I, even if that did happen. And I'm not saying that it did, but even if something like that did happen, that's personal information. Like, that's my past. And not everything is for human consumption. You know, just everyday human consumption. Some things is intended to be talked about with a professional. And some things are intended to be talked about with God. Point blank, period. And so now when you check him and you put him in his place, he started to bite his tongue. He started to realize, like, oh wow, okay, I'm dealing with a woman who know who she is. Like, this woman ain't finna come in and play my game. She finna play by her rules. And I got to respect her rules if I want to be in her life. And so now he in his place, and he knows, come with respect. Like, as a man, do I want a woman? Hey, so yeah, I want to know, has a man ever put his thing in your butthole when you were young? Because I understand it happens to a lot of men, and you know, and it's very traumatic. And I just want to know, like, or has a man ever made you, you know, suck his when you were young? It's like he don't want to be asked that. He don't want that question to be asked to him, even if that happened to him. He don't want that question to just be posed to him like that. But and yeah, he ain't saying it just like that. But if a man asks you, have you ever been R word or, you know, SA, then it's the same thing. He asks you, have you ever been? That's the same thing. It's like now you got to relive that when you ought to be able to drop that off at the foot of the Lord. You ought to be able to drop it off at the foot of the Lord and talk to a professional about that. Leave that there. Heal and process and go on about your life. Not have to relive that over and over. And then every time y'all argue, he throwing that in your face. That's why that happened to you. That's why you went through that. That's why this. That's why that. And you call yourself being transparent and honest. So see, this is the thing. This one of the number one mistakes women make. And I know this need to be spelled out more. And so understand, I'm not saying lie. I'm not saying fake. I'm not saying be somebody you're not. What I'm saying is know how to tell a man that's none of your business. Know how to tell a man that has nothing to do with you. Know how to tell a man that is the past, we are in the present. Know how to be direct. Keep your personal business that could be used against you in the court of love. This the Tony right, not the Miranda rights. I'm reading you the Tony rights. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of love. I made that up. You hear me? So understand this right here. When you get this in your spirit, and you know, stop reading a man a script, your whole script. Stop giving him the role to play. Stop setting him up to be Denzel Washington in the movie of your life. And let him show you if he's the clown, if he's the bad guy. But if you read him the script, he gonna pick Denzel Washington role. And then you gonna play yourself. Because you in real life, not a movie. Hey, this is Tony Gasson. God bless you. And we'll talk soon. I may touch up on this another time, or we'll talk about it in Q&A. Take care now.